What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My name is Brandon. Something a little bit different today. We're going to be installing some E-Track in my enclosed trailer. Stick around. So this is what we got, guys. This is a 7-foot wide by 16 foot long. That's 16 to the box plus another 2 on the front, so it's 18 overall. Tandem axle, all aluminum Neo trailer. I'm going to be using this trailer to haul my bikes and my street bikes and my dirt bikes, and probably helping people move and furniture and you name it. It's not going to be just a dedicated thing. It's also going to be my mobile welding rig. Just to give you a rough idea, in this V-nose there's going to be some aluminum cabinets that we're going to be building with a little workbench there. Right up above it, it's going to have some aluminum cabinets that are going to fit up above. It'll probably have some under-counter lighting below. I still got a lot of lighting to do in here. I'm going to be completely finishing the inside of this trailer. But one of the things that I need to do is install some tie downs in the floor, and that's not just for bikes. That can be for anything that I decide to haul in here. But primarily it's going to be set up the track for bikes. Now, I know that you guys that watch my channel, you're into a lot of the same stuff I'm into. You're into motorcycles, you're into like cars, you're into all kinds of things that are all of similar interest. So that's why I'm including this on my channel. Now, one of the things that I've been toying with is this is what I wanted to install in the trailer initially. It's called Airline Track or L-Track. It's all aluminum and it sits flush down in the floor, or you can get it to sit flush down in the floor. It's narrow, it's low profile, it just looks super clean, and that's the look I wanted. I debated on that, and the other choice was E-Track, which I really didn't want to go that route, but I did, and I'll explain why. This trailer was built with cross members every 16 inches. Your trailer is either going to be 16 on center, or it's going to be 2 foot on center. This one was 16, which I've got the additional support underneath, which is nice. It's all aluminum. It's 1x3 tubing every 16 inches. So what that equates to is that every 16 inches, you're going to be able to get some sort of a screw down into your cross member, your structural cross member. Because it's 3 inches thick, I'm not going to be through bolting it. I'm going to have to use a tech style screw, and then in between that we're going to put bolts with a backing plate underneath the 3/4 plywood. Now, getting back to why I wouldn't use the L-Track versus the E-Track is because of the trailer's made. Now, if the trailer had C-channel, this could easily be through bolted. You could nut and bolt it, but because it doesn't, I'm using the tech screws. The E-Track only allows you to get one screw in it. So in my case, I would have a screw here, and I would have another screw here. So there'd be 2 screws on 16 inches, and then however many I decided to put in between under the plywood, versus 2 here and 2 here. So what it came down to, guys, by doing the E-Track, structurally, this was just a stronger setup because I can do 2 self-drilling screws every 16 inches into the material. Now, I'm sure in the comments there's all things I could have done. I could have used, some 3.5-inch bolts and drilled all the way through the structural frame. I could have done a hole in the bottom and put a nut up through. There's just all kinds of things I'm sure that people are going to say I could have done. I just did it this way. 1, for ease of use. 2, because I think that it's going to be the best way to do it for me and what I want. So because there's going to be a bench right here, I'm going to be putting down in the center of the trailer 16 feet of E-Track going there. It's going to work out to be right around 12 feet of E-Track going down there, and another 16 feet of E-Track going down that way. So that'll allow bikes to be tied here and here. We're also going to be doing E-Track on the walls. I'm going to do a strip here and up here, and there's a certain height that I need to get, especially for the first one, and I'll explain why I'm doing it that height later in the video. A couple episodes ago, I installed these recessed flush chocks into the floor. Absolutely love them. This is a super good purchase. I'm so glad I bought these. As you can see, I have another one here. They just lift up when you want to use them, and you just drive into place, and they close down when you're not. So I picked up some E-track, and I'm going to show you what I've got here. These ones are 5-footers. This one is 8-footers. I'm going to do the 8-footers in the floor, and I'm going to put the 5-footers on the wall. And the reason the 8-footers I went with on the floor is because that'll hit a structural cross member at every end of the E-track. These 5-footers right here are the longest that I could get in this kit form, and I'm going to show you what I got with them. So check this out, guys. This is a complete kit. So it comes with the rings, it comes with ratchet straps, it comes with the other end of the ratchet strap, and it comes with more rings, and it comes with 12 gauge powder coated E-track. I'll have links of where I got all this stuff down below. I bought this, as you can see, from a company called Vevor. Happens to be the same manufacturer that we have for one of those welder giveaways. Now, if you haven't seen those welders in the welder giveaways, I'll have links down below. Time is running out. We're giving one out on November 11th, and another welder we're giving away on December 11th. And we've already given one away, and that user absolutely loves it. We've communicated back and forth quite a bit, and I will have some videos of them using it here shortly. So here's some literature that comes with the E-track, and you can see how those little pieces work there. That's everything in the kit. So you've got 4 5-foot pieces of E-track, you've got the bigger rings, you've got some smaller rings there, some straps. It's just a nice kit. And I got 2 of those. I got one here, and I got another of that same kit right there that includes all that stuff. And again, this is 8-foot E-track inside here. You can see it says it's a complete tie-down system for enclosed trailers, truck beds, pickups, trucks, and vans. 12 gauge steel. It's powder coated. I got the black. You can get gray, you can get black. It's got a 2,000 pound working load limit. The strap working load limit is 1,000. Rope tie offs are 300. O-rings 1,500. 2,000. And that's everything that's included with this if you want to pause it. Plus, you can get a ton of accessories with this E-track. You can get bins that hang off it, which I'll probably get bins for some of the straps. It's just kind of a handy system. It's just not as clean as I like for the L-track, but it is what it is. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I want it to work good rather than look awesome. Make sense? If it looks really nice and it's not functional and they end up ripping out of the floor, then that was kind of for naught. So I'd rather have it be useful than not. So first thing I need to do is get some of this stuff moved around and give us some room to work. I'm going to remove this piece over here. I got a couple other little pieces here and here that I need to get out of the floor. And then we can start measuring and getting this stuff installed in place. So I've got the bikes out and I've taken out some of the existing track that was in here. Now we just got to start measuring things off and installing the new track. And I just wanted to bring up this stuff here. This is just all temporary stuff that's hanging up here. This is just so that I've got some light so that when I'm in the trailer working around the yard, I can work on it. But this is all going to be finished inside. It's going to have LED 12-volt lights with its own onboard power supply all along through here. The ceiling's going to be eventually insulated, and it's going to have white sheet on the top to help brighten this up. And the floor also is going to be epoxy coated. So for right now, so that I'm not installing these tracks on a nice finished epoxy floor and causing problems, I'm going to get the tracks installed now, and then just like I did here. So you can see how I put a bolt here and here, but I don't have the 4 here. That's so I can pull this plate up when it comes time to epoxy the floor, and it'll just make it a lot better looking and it'll go a lot easier. Alright guys, I got a couple small dilemmas, not a big deal. So you can see where this is the end of the sheet. Obviously I want to get a screw into that. This cross member is only like 1 inch wide. So you can see that if I butt my next piece up to that, then I'm not going to get a screw into it. It's not going to go in back here. So the other alternative would be to slide this up. So now I'm half on that cross member. Slide this one up. Then I might be able to grab a screw there, or I might have to just put one here and here, which is great, but look what that does for the rest of the layout. Now remember, the floor is all spaced 16 on center, so you can see here's the next spacing. So then I'd have to put drill another pilot hole here and here, I'd have to do that everywhere. None of these holes would line up into the cross member if I did it that way. So here's my thought. My only other option is to move this down. All my holes now will line up 16 on center wherever I got to catch one. So there'll be another one right here. You can see that existing screw in the floor. So there'd be one there. Another alternative would be to cut half of it here and then cut half of one of these out here. But I don't really want to have kind of like a half and half splice in the middle of the floor. I think the better solution would be is just to cut it off like it should be here. Keep with our 16-inch on center pattern, and just for this piece, you know, in the middle piece over here, there'll be a plate underneath this section. Everything else will be in the structural part of the frame. That seems to be the best solution to get everything so it's all structurally laid out so that it looks right without causing all kinds of additional work for myself that probably isn't necessary. With that said, I'm going to cut this much off this piece of material right now. You know, one way that I could have done this, guys, so I could have used that aluminum airline track that I really like the looks of, is what I could have done is run it, instead of running the direction that I'm running this, run one that's 7 feet long on every single structural cross member every 16 inches, but that just would have been, in my opinion, super wasteful. And the reason I'm doing black, guys, for this is I'm either going to do a black coin floor or I'm going to do black epoxy with some flecks in it, and I'm not sure what color, but this will blend in. This black epoxy will blend into whatever I do for the floor covering. You just double check. I put a mark 6 inches from the end, and there we are. That's good. Check my length. It should be exactly 8 feet. It is. And I'm just going to hook up my portable material support, and that just gets pinned in with a shoulder bolt, just like that, and that allows material to hang right out over the edge. And just for good measure, I'll put a scribe mark in it right there. And you're going to want eye and ear protection with this. It is super loud. Great thing about this tool though, guys, is that it gives a nice burr-free, super accurate cut. Alright guys, I couldn't get all the way through it standing up on the end. It was just too tall. It was actually hitting this part of the guard right here. So to remedy that, I'm just going to lay it down. Now I'm going to do 2 more just like this. Look at that cut though, guys. Burr-free, finished, clean, no heat. Super nice. You don't got to worry about burning down your shop when you're cutting something from sparks. Just gives a super nice, clean cut. And it's straight and accurate. Now we'll just run a file over it and knock any edges off it that it might have. You don't want anybody getting hurt. Oh yeah, nice. I'm going to bring up something that one of my viewers brought to my attention, and I kind of replied in like maybe like a harsh or abrupt way, and for that I apologize. I actually apologized in the post, but what it has to do with is jewelry. When you wear jewelry. Now they commented that basically I know what I'm doing here, but it wasn't too bright for me to wear a ring around equipment, and absolutely right, guys, and I've never brought this up. You got to be careful wearing jewelry around equipment. Now, this looks really real, right? It's not. Look, it's like made of silicone. So it's a silicone ring. I've worn these for years. This one happens to be double-sided. It actually has like a little design on the underside. You know, guys, if you're working in a machine shop or welding or fabricating, sometimes there's some issues with being on a job site wearing jewelry because it's a crush hazard, especially if you have like a carbide ring or titanium, if that crushes on your finger, you might have some issues because they're not going to be able to get that off. Or another potential is something can hook on it. Like let's say you're jumping down from an elevated structure and that ends up getting caught, your ring, on something. It can actually deglove your finger, meaning basically it just will zip all the skin right off the bone of your finger. I've seen it done. It's not pretty. So these are what I use, guys. This isn't paid promotion or anything. I get nothing for this. This ring right here has lasted me about 2 years, and I use it around solvents and everything else. So if you're looking to get something like that, they last super good. I think I bought like a couple of them before I ended up finding the right size, and then once you know the size that you need, you're all set. But you can see here's just some different ones. They're all, you know, you can see they're all floppy, and but yeah, they last a super long time. So I just wanted to bring that up, guys. Be real careful wearing jewelry around equipment, and like I said, this ring is made of gel. So to the viewer that brought that up to me, thank you for bringing it up, and I'm sorry if I was a little coarse in my response, but it is a great point. So yes, it's made of silicone, and it's definitely there to keep you safe. Now all I got to do is just screw them down. So these are full length, that's 16. These are the cut pieces, and I'm putting my cut edge towards the back. And they actually make a little plastic piece that can push into that edge. I don't have them, but I'm actually going to order them, because that way when the door is open, the end of that will appear flush. And that's where the cut edge is, right there. I put a little bit of black nail polish on it just so it doesn't rust, just to help protect the end. But to finish it, I'm going to do the little plastic cap. I just don't have those today. So you can see now that edge is on a seam. Then there'll be another one every 16 inches all the way down. And just arbitrarily, I'm holding that edge of that flange off the wall about an inch. I got big hands, so it just gives me some room to work versus slamming it tight to the wall. I think it'll just be a better job. This is what I'm using for screws. I called them earlier a tech screw, but they're just a self-drilling screw. They are 1/4 inch by 1.5 inches long, so we actually have to go down through, obviously, the metal flange, then 3/4 inch plywood, then the rest of that will be down into the material. Let me double check that we're an inch away. I know there's going to be a fastener every 16 inches going down through. I'll go back through, and after I get all these installed, then we'll put all the screws in the rest of them. But for right now, we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to join this one, butt it up to that one, put some screws in that one, keep going. Now I know that this isn't going into anything, but I do want to put a screw here just to keep this area flush. Look how nice that looks, guys. That's going to work so good. Now we're going to put down one of our cut pieces. And we want to make sure that our cut end, I guess it probably doesn't matter, but I would like to keep the cut end down towards the back. So we're going to flip it around. I say not that it matters, but just trying to keep things consistent. And then what I'm doing down here, guys, is I'm just measuring, keeping them all parallel as they run up and down the trailer. And I'm keeping these to keep the equal distance. These just happen to be 32 inches between the flanges. So I'll just keep that number consistent all the way down through. Now I'm going to have this one run down, but I'm not going to have it go in front of the door just because it's not really necessary, and I don't really want that trip hazard being in front of the door. So I got to cut one at 50, and I'll probably end up putting a little short small piece right here as well, just to have it. I don't know if I'd ever need it, but if I did, it would be there, and now would be the time to do it. So I got to cut this at 50 inches. I'm going to go bring this into the shop, and I'll be right back. Tell you what, guys, having acrylic enamel nail polish in your arsenal of stuff to get things done is super handy. It works awesome for stuff like this. You guys that have been around for a minute on the channel know that it works great touching up little scratches on motorcycle frames. Just works really nice. Just to protect that edge so it doesn't lift from moisture and start rusting. There, now for the most part, all of this floor track is installed. I'm still going to put a little piece here, but the reason I really was being particular on making sure that the spacing was really perfect between the two, so from that edge to center, from this edge to center, that they're right on, is that if down the road I wanted to, I could actually make a wheel chock that snaps in to this E-track. They actually make something like that. I think I could do it pretty simple by doing a piece of flat bar that basically spans the two with an E-track clip affixed to the bottom of it. So it snaps into that. And then on that piece, you basically just have like an L bracket that's welded or bolted onto that cross piece. So that would act as the wheel chock. So you could click it in anywhere, you know, here, 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 and that would give you an instant wheel chock at any position in this trailer. It's just something, you know, handy if you had like a super heavy bike or something that didn't balance right on the tongue. You could actually kind of move things around a little bit. It's just a thought. I always try to plan out things in the future because I don't like doing things twice, and I'm trying to like predict how I might use this trailer or might potentially how to need it down the road. Next thing we can do is start working on getting some of this on the wall. Lucky for us guys, we're in the trailer. It just started raining. We'll be nice and dry in here, and you can see here in Maine it is fall. All the leaves are starting to come off the trees, and we are getting ready to go into winter, and I am not looking forward to it. Winters are tough in Maine. Super expensive. Heating oil right now is through the roof, and we heat our homes with #2 heating oil. We tie that to prices of diesel, and that's what we pay per gallon. Winters in Maine are pretty brutal. A lot of hard work. Snow blowing, shoveling, all that good stuff. So now that I've got all the track down in the floor, I haven't gone through and screwed it all down every 16 inches. I probably won't until I finally finish the floor, because it doesn't really make any sense now to put holes in the floor, potentially break a screw off, just have more problems. So for now, this is all secured down. Then we'll finish the floor, then put these back in, install them 100%, but everything is all cut, everything is all the size, it's all the same, so it'll all fit together. Now it's time to put some E-track along the walls. Now, you remember in the beginning of the video I said that there was a reason I was going to hold off, because there's a specific height that I want to do these. Now let me show you. See how these dirt bikes are all lined up? That track is screwed to the wall, and that has a little receptacle that holds the front wheel. Let me show you. Now this is that piece close up right there, and you can see how that snaps into that E-track. The manufacturer suggests from the center of this track to the floor that it's 14.5 inches. So that's what I'm going to do. Not that I would ever use this system, but if I got to put a track on the wall somewhere, I might as well put it at a height that it could be used for this system, because someday I may not own this trailer. I may sell it, and this could be a benefit to someone else if I tell them it's all set up for this type of wheel chock. So I'm going to put my first one at 14.5, which will be nice and low. So like if you would like haul a refrigerator in here or a piece of furniture, you could put it against the wall. That seems like a good height anyways. Wow, I'm pretty impressed with all the stuff that we get with this kit. These straps feel real heavy duty too. Kind of like a stickler for nice straps and stuff. These are for the ratchet straps right here. And here's a ratchet right here. So let's say you wanted to tie your motorcycle down. I think these are rated for, I can't remember what it said, way more than what we need. So that's spring loaded, that latch, then they just clip in like that. Then you can hook your strap, your motorcycle strap, right to that. Let me show you that again. So you lift up this little spring-loaded clip, stick it in there, let it go. That's it. And that's secured down. And just run your motorcycle strap right to that, anywhere you want along the entire length of this track. To get it out, lift that up, and that's that. That easy. That's what makes this system so nice. I'll show you what these look like. I like that they kind of got this like zinc or phosphate coating, or they just look nice. I like that. That's kind of cool. It even comes with some single ones. So like, let's say you just wanted to put like a single location down. So that probably would have been perfect for over there. I could have just done one of these right at one of the cross members, and that'd have been perfect, but we already got that in. So it actually came, that kit came with 2 of these. Then you got 2 of these. These things are just like those other rings, but I think they're just heavier duty. These say they got a working load limit of 2,000 pounds, so these feel super heavy duty. Wow. Yeah. Those other ones will be just fine, but yeah, this will work. You can see these ratchet straps work the same way. These are just like a 2-inch web that goes down into that E-track, and these just work like a regular, you know, ratchet strap. These just are heavy duty. So probably won't use these that often, but obviously I'll have them in the trailer just in case I need them. It'd be good if you were, you know, like hauling some lumber, or you had some wood that you're leaning against the wall, then you wanted to cinch it down with this. This would be a nice heavy duty solution for that. So slight change of plans, guys. To mount these horizontally on the wall, those other screws obviously are too long, like 1.25 inches, that actually puncture the sidewall. So what I did is I took one of these factory screws out, which looks just like this. Okay, so it's self-drilling. It's 1 inch long. That'll work perfect for going through this, through that wood, and then into the aluminum framing and behind. But can't get these locally. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just order some, and they make these, they're called trailer screws. You can get them with a black coated head. I think that's what I'll do for these. So get this same screw, but the heads will be black, and then that'll blend right in. That'll look really nice. So we'll have to do that in an upcoming episode, guys. This one's getting a little too long, but yeah, I gotta order these screws, and then we will be back in business. And that's all there is to it, guys. This is just one of the steps to try to get this thing dialed in so that I can get this turned into a motorcycle hauler and a mobile welding trailer. So be sure to stick around, because pretty soon I'm going to be welding up and fabricating some aluminum cabinets. I'm going to be using the same square 1-inch tubing to build the frames. Should look pretty cool. I've never done it before, but I'm hoping it's going to look factory, fingers crossed. Make sure you guys go check out those giveaways. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, because that's one of the requirements to get in on those giveaways. I'm giving one away in November and another one in December to one lucky subscriber. So I'll have links down below to those videos and within this video. Until next Friday, guys, I will see you then. Take care, stay safe, like, comment, subscribe. New videos every Friday. See ya.